Chapter 14. Jenny scanned the lobby of the Grand Hotel. "Oh, Mr. Swamper, I see what you meant when you said this place was grand." She stopped to take in the room with its elegant furnishings. "It's so beautiful." She looked at Luke. "I can't believe this is the same Big-Nosed Kate's saloon where we had lunch. It looks so different." She looked back at the Swamper. "So this really was your home?" "Yep, indeed it was," said the Swamper with a look of pride on his face, "and I took good care of it, too." "Can you take me downstairs and show me your secret tunnel?" asked Luke. "Luke!" exclaimed Jenny, "that's not a very nice thing to say." The Swamper laughed. "Sorry, son, but a man's entitled to keep a few secrets, and I'll never tell anyone about my hidden treasure. Not even you." He smiled again at Luke. "Besides, it's so much fun watching all you modern folks wonder about it." They went into the saloon. "Look who's sitting at that table over there, Jenny," said Luke as he looked around. "It's Doc Holliday." Two men entered the room and walked up to the bar. "How are you two today?" Doc Holliday politely asked. The men gave him a slight nod, then ordered their drinks. The Swamper told Luke and Jenny that the two men were Billy Clinton, Ike's younger brother, and Frank McGlory, Tom's brother. "I didn't recognize Mr. McGlory," said Jenny. It was so dark that the night they had their secret meeting with Wyatt that she and Luke had not been able to get a good look at him. Another man sauntered in. Billy and Frank looked up. One of them said, "Hey, would you like to join us for a drink?" "Frank, can I talk to you about something?" asked their friend. He had a worried look on his face, so Frank stepped aside to talk to him. Luke and Jenny heard him tell Frank about his brother just having been pistol whipped by Wyatt Earp. "Now, why would Wyatt go and do something like that?" asked Frank. "That doesn't make any sense at all." His friend shrugged his shoulders and said he didn't know. Frank looked toward Billy and said, "We'd better go find our brothers. Some sort of trouble's brewing and we best leave town." Luke, Jenny, and the Swamper followed Frank and Billy out of the hotel. As they walked down Allen Street, the Swamper asked a question. "Have you seen why some days stand out in history?" "What do you mean?" asked Jenny. "On certain days, something happens that will never, ever be forgotten, just like the Ides of March. That was the day Julius Caesar was murdered in the Roman Senate," said the Swamper. "Today is Wednesday, October 26, 1881, and history will record this as another day that will never be forgotten." As they walked along, they came across Billy Claiborne. "Have you seen Ike?" asked Billy Clinton. I want to get him home." "Why, yes," replied Billy Claiborne. "I just got back from taking him to the doctor. Ike's been stirring up a lot of trouble around town until Virgil Earp gave him a pretty good whack on the head." Billy Clinton and Frank McGlory looked at one another. Then they quickly turned the corner and went into a building. The building was Spangenberg's gun shop. "Why are they going in there?" asked Luke. "If they don't want to fight, why don't they just leave?" "I don't know," said the Swamper. "Probably because they're scared of the Earps with what just happened to Ike and Tom. But you're right, Luke, their coming here is certainly going to make a bad situation much worse." Luke, Jenny, and the Swamper went into the gun shop. Tom McGlory was already there. As the three men loaded bullets into their gun belts, Luke and Jenny heard a strange sound. A horse had come untied from the hitching post and had climbed onto the boardwalk. It was starting to come into the gun shop. Luke and Jenny started to laugh. "Look, Jenny," said Luke, "the horse must have got some bullets, too." Luke walked up to the horse and started to grab the reins, but they went right through his hands, just like when he tried to grab the barrel of Curly Bill's gun. He looked back at the Swamper. "Come on, you mean if I move this horse, I'll change history?" "Yep," replied the Swamper. "Turn around and look behind you." Luke turned around and saw Wyatt Earp. He was holding onto the horse's bit and was starting to back him out of the door. Then Frank and Billy came to the door. "I'm sorry, Wyatt," said Frank as he took the bridle. Wyatt curtly replied, "You better get this horse off the boardwalk." "Sure, Wyatt, no problem," said Frank as he pushed his horse back off the boardwalk and retied him to the hitching post. "Wyatt sure didn't look too happy," said Jenny. She and Luke saw that Wyatt was carefully watching the men stock up on bullets. Ike Clinton walked in with his bandaged head. "Mr. Spangenberg," he said, "I'd like to look at a pistol." "Sorry, Ike. Not today," said the shop owner. "You've been making too much trouble around here today. Besides, your head's still bleeding. Come back tomorrow when you're feeling better." "Let's go," said one of the cowboys as they headed out the door. "We're going too," said the Swamper. "Let's find out what the Earps are up to."